Hey guys, Ed from Paranormal Inc. Ohio. I'm coming at you again with another ghost story. Another ghost story with a twist, like the Black-Eyed Children one, but this time it's about the ZoZo demon, or the Ouija board demon. The ZoZo demon has originated from what, as far back as I can tell, 200 years ago. He would pop up here and there, and this story or this legend or that legend, and all of them are all bad. Every story that I've ever read about ZoZo is bad. They also believe that ZoZo is the same ancient demon Pazuzu, as you know in the movie The Exorcist, is what it is loosely based on, is the Pazuzu demon. But they also think that Pazuzu and ZoZo are the same entity, the same demon. How ZoZo comes in contact with you is when you get the Ouija board and you're trying to find a loved one that has passed on. You attempt to do it here and there, nothing really happens, and then you finally get a hold of that person that you're looking for, and you start talking to each other on the Ouija board. So you start asking questions that only that person would know about you, or you would know about them. And it answers. It's just amazing the answers that it comes up with. So it draws you in to think, yes, that is it. So as the conversation goes, it starts getting a little darker and a little darker. Then obscenities begin to being spelled on the Ouija board. Bad things are being said to you. And when you try to end the session, the planchette or the pointer will go from Z to O, Z, O, faster, Z, O, Z, O, spelling out ZoZo. And once that has happened, he's already in. You try to end the session, you'll say goodbye, and you'll start noticing things. You'll hear bumps, loud bangs, scratches, things moving, cabinets opening, things being tossed across the room. You'll wake up with scratches, burns, and have horrific nightmares about this thing that is coming after you. The ZoZo demon digs itself in, and you pretty much can't get rid of it. It makes you sick. Your animals will become sick. Your children will become sick. The household will just feel so heavy and dark that whatever you do to try to hide from this, it's like you just can't hide from it at all. They also, like I said, the movie The Exorcist, or the movie called The Possessed, was based on ZoZo. And what those movies are based on was one particular exorcism of Roland Doe. Now, Roland Doe, when he was growing up, he was with his aunt, and him and his aunt would play with the Ouija board all the time. They loved it. And he was very close to his aunt. So when his aunt passed away, he felt just terrible. He missed her terribly. So he got the Ouija board, and he was attempting to contact his aunt. And as the sessions went on, it was the same thing. Whoever it was, his aunt or whatever, on the other side would answer questions that only him and his aunt would know. So Roland was very excited, thinking that he found his aunt. Well, then one night he got on a session with it, and it just went bad. It was just very dark. The conversation went dark. Horrible things were said, and he got upset, and he tried to end the session, and he ended the session, but then strange things started happening. He became very sick. He just felt not with himself. His parents said that things in the house would be just thrown around, or they would just come up missing and be in a different spot. Roland's personality was changing to something so terrible. And they would notice scratches and burns in his skin. They attempted an exorcism, and during the exorcism, the word help appeared in his skin. Now, you can take that with a grain of salt. That's either true or fake. I believe it's true because, like I said before, I have an open mind, and I believe very wholeheartedly in demonic possession and spirits and entities. Roland's case got so severe that he couldn't stay there anymore, so he went to a church-ran facility. And he was up in the top of the church in a steel bed. And they said that the possession became so fierce that the steel bed that weighed a lot would just, it would move, and it would move back and forth. It would levitate. It would shake up and down. That's as far as I know about Roland Doe. I know that a buddy of mine who had a person that he loved passed away. And he asked me if I could help him maybe contact. Now, here's my thing with Ouija boards. I don't like Ouija boards. And this story will tell you why I don't like Ouija boards. Somebody, he decides, he goes, okay, you're into this paranormal stuff, help me out. I said, all right. So, I was fairly new in the paranormal field. This is around 2002, 2003. And he wanted to try to contact the person who he loved, who passed. And we went to this old abandoned house that was out in the field behind his house. So we go out there, we set everything up, we cleaned the area up where we're going to go, we lit some candles, and he started using the Ouija board. And I'm going to say for the first 45 minutes, nothing was happening. We heard noises, so we thought, it's just our imaginations. And then the planchette, or the pointer, started spelling words. It spelled his name. It spelled my name. And then, it spelled the name of the person he was trying to contact. So he's like, all right, cool. I finally got it. He's telling I miss you, this and that and the other. And he started asking questions too, like, I wonder if this is really them, and we're like, well, ask the questions only you and this person would know. And boom, boom, boom. Every answer was on point correct. And so, as the session goes on, and like the stories have told you, like I just said, and this is before I even knew what ZoZo or, any demons or anything like that was. And so we kept going on, and it would start spelling out very bad curse words. And we got scared, literally it terrified us. So we're like, you know what, no, we're done with this. And we tried to end the session, and then we started hearing bumps in the house. Now this is an abandoned, rundown house. Now I get it. It could have been stuff just falling off the ceiling, or the house falling apart, or this, that, and the other. But we heard a very loud thud from upstairs. Now, my friend was very adventurous. He wanted to check it out. Me, on the other hand, this is before I really got into all this. I was like, oh, man, this is kind of weird. So maybe it's like, a homeless person or something. We should get out of here and just give them their spot, respect their space. Now, he was adamant about going and looking. So I said, well, I'm going to stay down here. That way we can't get, ambushed by if there's other people in here. I'll yell if something happens. You come down, we get out of here. So he goes up the stairs, and I hear him scream. And this dude does not scream. He is not scared of anything. He's running down the stairs telling me, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. So we run all the way back to his house. It's a good distance, right? So we get back to the house, and he's out of breath, he's sweating, his tears are forming in his eyes. I said, what's wrong, what'd you see? He said, I looked in the room upstairs, and he goes, I could see his shadow. And you gotta remember, this was kind of dusk, so it was darkish, but inside the house it was really dark because there's no electricity, no lights or whatever. The only thing we have was our flashlights and the candles. He said, I looked, and I saw a shadow, and I said, are you okay? And he said it looked at him. And when he looked at him, he had eyes that were yellow, like the brightest yellow he's ever seen. He said, I wasn't waiting around for nothing. He goes, I boogied out of there. We got out of there, ran, So as time goes on, he's telling me here and there that he's having bad nightmares. Things are happening in his house. Stuff's moving, becoming out of place. The dogs are getting sick. And then he starts getting sick. He's got scratches on him and all sorts of things. So I go to his house. I said, okay, let me investigate. Let me see. I got a few tools here. I said, let's see what's going on. Well, at that time, the only thing I had was a cell phone and a K2 meter and an audio recorder. That was all I had, and some flashlights. So I go into his house and immediately turn on the K2 meter and just all the way. Boop, 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 boop. It just would not move from all the way over to red. So I said, if you're doing this, please stop the K2 meter. K2 meter back down to nothing. Just one little green dot.